Welcome to this module titled Assessing On-Farm Produce Safety Risks Harvest. This module is part of a series to assist you in creating a food safety program and preparing you for a gap audit. These videos are based off a series of 7 fact sheets available through Virginia Cooperative Extension. Today, we will be discussing the 5th step of developing a food safety program, addressing the harvest stage of your operation. Before you begin harvesting, it is important to think about the flow of your harvesting process and the methods and procedures you will use to harvest. A pre-harvest assessment should always be performed on the production areas. This is generally done by a visual observation of the production areas. The pre-harvest assessment should look to identify any potential sources of contamination and survey for any potential signs of contamination, such as animal droppings. You should also assess if there have been any weather events, such as floods with prolonged water, that might have caused contamination in the field. It is also important to determine that vehicles used to transport produce, along with containers, tools, and equipment that will be used during the harvest, are in clean, good working order. Be sure that employee facilities are examined and are properly stocked and functioning. Be sure to document your pre-harvest assessment and maintain it with your records. Any item that comes in direct contact with fresh produce, such as harvesting tools, bins, or other harvest materials, should be cleaned and sanitized on a regular basis, be in good repair, and not be used for any non-harvesting activities, including carrying or storing non-produce items. Documentation should be kept on the cleaning protocols and when equipment and tools are cleaned and sanitized. In order to avoid cross-contamination from equipment and machinery, it is important that mechanical equipment and machinery be kept clean throughout harvest and examined for any types of leaks, including oil, fuel, or lubricant. Light bulbs and glass should be covered to avoid breaking. If equipment or machinery malfunctions or breaks and chemical contamination from hazards such as hydraulic fluid, oil, petroleum, lubricants, or other chemicals may have occurred, the situation should be assessed and corrective action should be implemented and documented. Water and ice can be a source of biological contamination. Any water or ice used for cooling should come from a tested well or a municipal water source. This water or ice should meet drinking water standards, and the water or ice should be monitored throughout the packing process so it does not become a source of cross-contamination. Ice machines and utensils used to transfer ice, such as scoops or shovels, should be cleaned on a regular basis. If mechanical systems, such as hydrocoolers or spray systems, are used, they should be regularly inspected, maintained, and cleaned. If produce is packed directly into its final packaging in the field, special measures should be taken to avoid any contamination of produce. The produce being harvested should be examined for any signs of potential contamination, and any excess dirt or mud should be removed. All packaging materials should be properly stored off the floor, covered, and away from hazards such as chemicals or compost piles to protect them from being contaminated. Vehicles used to transport produce should have procedures in place for maintaining, cleaning, and inspecting the vehicles. When necessary, the temperature of a transport truck with a refrigeration unit should be monitored and recorded. Traceability protocols should be in place for produce going direct to market or to a secondary location for additional handling. These protocols should include invoicing and how the product is handled. A more in-depth discussion of traceability will be discussed in the next module, post-harvest handling stage. You have now completed this module. There are some important steps you should complete before moving on to the next module. You will want to make sure that you review the harvest stage fact sheet found on the course site or on the Virginia Cooperative Extension website. There, you will find more in-depth information on the topics we covered in this module, along with supporting resources and documents. At the end of the fact sheet, you will find a checklist that will help you implement the topics covered in this module. Completing it will help you prepare for the requirements of a gap audit. You will also want to develop a pre-harvest inspection checklist. Once you have completed these steps, you should be ready to move on to the next module in this series, assessing on-farm produce safety risks post-harvest handling stage.